So now we are in the end game. The end game in chess refers to there's not many pieces left, and the pieces that you do have now, even if they're pawns, are more valuable. And the king now has to be one of those pieces. It has to go towards the center of the board. And that's where we are right now. Andrew Yang has to go on to the center. It's no more fluff. Andrew Yang fired dozens of staffers after Iowa debacle. Politico is reporting. Andrew Yang is saying these people would have been fired anyway, or would have been. They do get 1 month severance, so that is a good sign. But yeah, I hope whoever he hires and whoever works for him, again, I volunteered to work pro bono for him, and I have been very adamant on contacting him. I still have not heard anything back. I've gotten a lot of responses from PACs. The only other PACs, not Andrew Yang himself, the reason if I wanted to make a PAC, I would. It takes a little bit of time, but I'm not going to help anyone except Andrew Yang himself. And I want that phone call from Andrew Yang. Then I'll help him for free. Apparently, he was paying these people. I don't really know what they were being paid to do. You can cry, you can whine, you can say that 1% is actually 5%, which is actually 15%. But at the end of the day, it's off to New Hampshire, and regardless of what happened in Iowa, it was a waste of everyone's money. Minus a certain Mayor Pete, who has been declared the victor, even though he declared himself the victor without any results. I wonder how he could predict something like that. But CNN, MSNBC, all the liberal news outlets have said Mayor Pete won. I do think this is a positive. The staff does need to change. You have to say that, so dozens of people have been fired. This does make a lot of sense to me. Iowa was not a good result, no matter how much fluffy YouTubers tell you. Your back is against the wall, and we are in the end game. The end game means Andrew Yang has to do much more. A lot of you have said he doesn't sleep. He's always on town hall. That's good, but that's the very easy stuff. The tough stuff is going after your opponents. Amy did a fantastic job, so a lot of you are surprised that Amy did so well. I am not in the least bit surprised because of how well her debate went in terms of how much time. Every 30 seconds is a commercial for a couple $100,000, if not $1 million, right? Ask yourself, how much does a Super Bowl commercial cost? Now, the Democrat debates are nowhere near the level of a Super Bowl commercial, but that mentality to eat up the clock. In football, you run the ball. That is why the 49ers lost. They did not run the ball. That is why the Seahawks lost. They did not run the ball. That is why the Atlanta Falcons lost. They did not run the ball. You control the clock and you win. So I am not at all surprised that Andrew Yang has laid off dozens of people associated with Iowa. Many news outlets are reporting on this right now. I view this as positive. It's going to be spun in Politico, and if you read the Facebook comments, people are really going after Andrew Yang right now because obviously no one wants to lay off people before we're in New Hampshire. But at the same time, these people did not do a good job. They were involved in Iowa. They promised, and honestly, they used fake numbers. There's no higher crime than when you use fake numbers. When you pick data, you cherry pick numbers that support your cause, and then you ignore everything else, you're doomed to fail. You're going to fail. So I hope Andrew Yang has a think tank of very hard-hitting, critical thinkers who are going to the only way your campaign can get better is via optimization. The only way that you can optimize is if you acknowledge the mistakes you make. You have to acknowledge, hey, we made XYZ mistakes, let's improve. And no one's perfect. There's not a single business out there that does not need to optimize every day. I know, because that's my job, is to optimize businesses. I don't view this as bad. I view this as an evolution. Surround yourself with people who are willing to push you. Surround yourself with people who are willing to question whether or not that's a good decision, and you will evolve, you will get smarter, you will become tougher, you will become more intelligent. Surround yourself with a bunch of people who fluff you up. End of the day, you will lose. So this is the evolution that I really wanted to see. I absolutely agree. Dozens of staffers should be fired. They failed. The dude who did not realize, and this actually is pretty interesting life lesson for you guys. For Ohio, one of the most important states in terms of elections, right? Ohio is a swing state, and it goes Republican, goes Democrat, goes Republican. It has a lot of delegates, and that's what you care about. You care about delegates. You don't care about the popular vote. The popular vote in election terms has never won anyone anything. You can win the popular vote like Hillary Clinton and lose. You can win the popular vote like Al Gore and lose. So the popular vote is not the number that you're interested in. No matter how fluffy you can make that number, because it doesn't mean anything in elections. That's not what they count. So back into this situation, I think Andrew Yang has realized this is more like a business than a family. This isn't all kumbaya and we all sing in circle blank each other. You can fill in the blank. We have to realize this is the end game. If we do not do good in New Hampshire, it could be over. And the reason it got this bad was a lot of people lied. A lot of people told you numbers that don't make... Even if true, they were cherry-picked. They didn't listen to the warning signs about our TV commercials. How could we spend all that money, donated money, on commercials and not realize, hey, we need a canvas, we need to make phone calls, we need to do all this stuff? It's because it's easy. If you had $10 million to hire a bunch of canvassers, right? You have to interview them, you have to do background checks, you have to educate them, and you have to get them out there. It's not easy controlling that many people. That's hard. Employees are the most expensive and the most difficult things any business has. But you know what would be an easy way to spend $10 million? Why don't we just shoot 2 fluffy commercials about baby diapers? Yep, all right, we spent all of our money, no money for canvassing anymore. Think about, canvassing. We pay a person $15 an hour and they do so much, right? They go door to door. It's tough. It's not easy. It's hard. But we need to find these people. And they go door to door. Instead of spending money on a TV commercial, which honestly, those people are never going to vote for you anyway. The demographic targeting is non-existent in a TV commercial. Anyone could watch a TV commercial. And unfortunately, most people in Iowa are white, and they're never going to vote for Andrew Yang unless he explains to them, hey, you know what? This is going to benefit you. You and your cousins and your aunts and uncles and your grandparents, they will all get lots of money, and the big social media companies will pay for it. This is the end game. And there are only a few pieces left. And there's only a few moves that we have left to play. So in the end game, the king must come forward. In the beginning, we can be fluffy. In the beginning of chess, we can be fluffy because we're protecting the king. We're protecting Andrew Yang from negativism and criticism, constructive or otherwise. But the pieces are all gone now. So the king now must play a much bigger role. And it's the king that must move to the center of the board now. Hi, guys.